We are rolling. All right. Welcome, episode 2 of Not Another Pickleball Podcast. I'm your host, Dawson, and I have my co-host.
Patrick, Pat,
Yeah. Ooh, what about Patty Pickles?
Patty Pickles works.
I kind of like Patty Pickles.
Patty Pickles.
Patty Pickles.
It's not Patty mayonnaise. I got that a lot from Doug Funny growing up, so sometimes I cried.
Okay.
But,
Ooh,
yeah.
childhood trauma to start the podcast.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, we're coming to you live from Lifetime Westwood. Again, huge shout out and thank you to them for letting us podcast here, content create here, all that. Very supportive of the club and thankful for them for that. Want to get that out of the way as well as we're going to share some stuff for them, like links to their Instagrams, bios, some stuff they're up to throughout when we do the pod episodes, but as well after in like the bios and stuff like that. So we got that info to you guys. Real quick today, we're gonna be chatting about some paddles. We have the new Pickleball Apes paddles here, the Harmony series. We have the new 11Six24 Alpha series here. I don't have it with me because they're a little bit backlogged right now just due to the high volume. But we will have the enhanced Pickleball Gen 4.5 paddle at some point for us to test.
Excited about that.
Yeah, that one looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's an elongated. I feel like that definitely fits the type of paddle that
Big time.
you would like a lot, as
Yeah.
well as myself usually. But we will also have a couple other things like Dynasty Pickleball. I know is sending their version of a Gen 4.5.
Very innovative. Innovative.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's get into it. But first, before we dive paddles real quick, I did want to mention this is the last day of Prime Day today. Obviously, when the pod goes out, the Prime Day will be over. It's kind of more like a Prime Week now,
Yeah.
rather than a day.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So we can talk about just deals. You found, in my opinion, the best deal in pickleball for Prime Day, if you want to mention that.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I found it after I had already ordered some shoes through them. So I know, like the other week, we kind of touched on shoes a little bit, and I mentioned I was having issues, but I just got it here, so I'll put it in the camera. I ended up getting the Montes Drop 1.0 pickleball shoes.
Look at the bottom of that bad boy.
Yeah, sweet. You see the little pickleball right there.
Here.
Yeah.
Isn't that sweet?
Nice little touch. But wide toe box, which is what I need, just super comfy. But unfortunately, when I ordered them, I didn't realize they'd be having a tremendous sale like a week later. So right now, I think this was like 100 and change before code. But the current sale, which again is probably going to be gone by the time this is out there, but I think it's like $54 for a single pair. So you can pretty much get two for the price of one. I know Dawson got a pair, haven't arrived yet, but super comfortable. Like I'd recommend it. I've tried a lot of shoes, and so far these are feeling pretty good. So
yeah, I don't know about you guys, but $54.50
insane.
With no discount code.
Yeah.
Is insane for any shoe in general, but a court shoe especially. I feel like it is tough to get a good pair of court shoes for under $100 right now. And if you're under, it's usually like 99.99 after shipping and taxes and all that. And then a lot of stuff in pickleball, it was kind of more of like a tariff-free week is what I'll call it, just because tariffs were the equivalent of the Prime Day saving for some stuff. I did see like a Yola 3S Hyperion for like 130, which is kind of crazy because that was at one point like a $250 to $80 paddle, but it is a whole technically half generation behind now. And yeah, so I thought that was cool. And then I also, a lot of the ones I saw were more tech, so not really super pickleball related. But kind of stuff you can never really go wrong with, like tripods, adapters, stuff like that. So those would be things that I would shout out right there, as well as just, I know that Franklin, like the X40s usually get.
Yeah, I saw it on there. I didn't see the exact price, but I did see there were a couple ball options out there discounted.
I think it was the 12 pack, which is that's a good amount of balls to get because you're not like, I always tell people if you're gonna get balls, there's no point in getting the can of 3 unless you're like a tournament day of director because and that's usually how they hand them out, is they'll hand them out in the cans or just individual, but it just, you go through them so fast, it doesn't make sense. With the 12, like I can get a good month to 2 months maybe
Yeah.
if I'm conservative enough out of 12 balls. That's something at least. If you're playing 5 to 6 days a week, that's
yeah,
a
different
week.
story.
But
Yeah.
I got news for you. That's probably a week to 2 weeks max. But that I'll say this too is at least with those you're getting I wouldn't say there's a best ball in pickleball right now, but I think it's between that, the lifetime, and a few other balls for kind of that top spot.
Big time, yeah.
So, at least in my opinion, those two balls I just named would probably be up there for me. So we'll do that at some point. We'll ball
Ball
segment.
segment. I do
Yeah.
have a couple of the what is it, the SLK ones, the Selker
Ooh.
balls too. They sent me like a
Pro or
four
the
pack.
regular?
I think they're the pros.
Okay.
I don't use them a ton, but I do. That is something we could do at some point. So I do have a couple of them, and we could hit with them at some point.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I had like a prototype one of those,
Interesting.
and it was wild, dude. It would like bounce really high in cold weather, but in warm weather it would like skip. And I was like, what is this? It would like go out a round, but then like pop back in round like a point later. I was like, this is the wildest pickleball I've ever played with. Outside of maybe like just a completely decompressed like Franklin.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, we can do a little ball segment at some point. But yeah, let's dive into paddles here. So I know you just finished testing. Oh, which had a light go out.
Yeah.
That's okay though. I know you just finished testing the Neonic.
Yes.
So you can chat if you want
Flare.
about this one first. Flare Prime X.
Yeah, let's bust it out here.
Yeah, bust that bad boy out here. Give me that case. I actually just I did an in-depth on this a while back when I reviewed it, but my opinions have changed on it a little bit over time.
Positive or negative?
Pretty positive for that one, I'd
Yeah.
say, especially the price range, dude. That after code, that's in like the 120 to 130 range, which
Wow.
is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like, so
Super light. I mean, and I'm sure Dawson's touched on that before, but super light. I'm not a big, standard like wide body type guy, so this is definitely a little different size wise for me. But like just hands at the net, I feel like you're getting a little advantage with how fast and how light this paddle is. So I enjoyed it. But
all
again,
right, so I'm gonna cut back in on that part, but sorry about that, guys. We just had two lights go out on us. We are good to go now. Talking about the Neonic Flare Prime X.
Done for the Prime X, yep. So wide body, right? Definitely on the lighter side. I know, Dawson obviously knows a lot more about this stuff than I do. I'm learning. But all core paddle, right? With that being said, I think it does have some decent pop. Just standard carbon fiberglass, nothing like too crazy as far as that's concerned. But for this paddle shape, I think this is probably outside of maybe the carbon true foam. This is probably the best like wide body paddle that I've hit up to this point. So again, not like a ton of time on it, but for that price point too, I think this is a great paddle. Just for me, it just doesn't cater as much to my game, but I think there's a lot of advantages using this paddle. So that's kind of my 2 cents on the Neonic there.
Yeah, bad boy quick. Yeah, so I did a review on this. I want to say around January of this year, so 2025. And at the time, I think it was probably 3 to 4 months old. I'd hit with it for about 2. I'd probably put a good 6 on this on and off now, and it is one of the lightest paddles in my database, both in static weight and in swing weight. With the swing weight, I believe it was like 104, something like that. And then after, you guys can't see it because of this black tape right here, but I did add a ton. Let's see, this is 2 gram lead tape right here, probably like 8 inches on the throat. And it gives this really cool head light feeling that I don't think I've replicated it yet, the feeling on another paddle, the way I've replicated
I
it
haven't
on
felt
this.
anything like it.
It is so like fast in the hand. It's pretty crazy. I think an elongated like this would be really cool, but it would make probably a massive dead spot right here.
Yeah.
Which this actually doesn't have, which is nice. Look, this is a great paddle. I think if you're someone that likes a wide body to a standard shape, Like this is a true 16x8 standard shape with a long handle, long enough for two hands, one hand, whatever you want. On that front, I think it's a great paddle. I think, in my opinion, this is like the top of all court for a wide body. I don't think this is a power paddle, but it's definitely not a control paddle.
Yeah, it has
It's got
pop.
pop.
Yeah.
Like this is a very poppy paddle. I would say in terms of pop, this is a power paddle, but in terms of everything else, it's all court. Just because we have, as you guys will see coming up here, we have some serious bang for your buck in terms of power here. But moving on from that, and as you guys know, Pat's still warming into this, and he has not hit a lot of wide body standard shapes. So that
Yeah.
kind of sounded right for me. I figured
Yeah.
you kind of have that behind the carbon, which
Yep.
I would too if I was comparing those here. We'll go into here. I'll grab this quick. This is check. This is yes.
Yeah.
So this is the Harmony S. So the Pickleball Apes, they have the S, the X, and the V. This is the hybrid. This was my main last week, hitting with these. You didn't get to put a ton of time on this, but
No.
you put a good amount of time on the X.
Yep.
You're going to put a good amount of time on the V right now. I do want to talk about this quick, is that it's the same shape as the prior Pulse S series for the hybrid, and it's also lighter and it just kind of feels better. I don't know how to explain that in terms of feel, other than like it's just more plush, soft. I think it's the carbon fiber face as opposed to the Kevlar aramid weed Kevlar carbon fiber combo. I did get word these are releasing around August 6th to 8th. So I think that was originally not the release date. I think they were going for that July
Like
date
July,
that
right.
I feel like everyone's between July 20th and 25th right
Yeah,
now.
a lot of
But
stuff
I think
coming up.
that's good that this is going in August. These are great paddles. There's really no other way for me to say that. I think these are like low tier power, top tier all court. I think that X you have weighted up now.
Yeah, I'll bounce that.
Yeah, grab that quick.
Just to show it on
Just
there.
make sure that might be the V. Apologies. These without seeing the front of the case.
Yeah, that's the V.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the V.
Give me that V. Trade. This is your X.
Yeah.
So, without seeing the cases, it is hard to tell these. So this is the wide body, and that's the elongated right there for
Yep.
context.
Yep.
You can kind of see the height difference. I did get some time on the V as well. I did put time on all three, but the S is the one that I gravitate to the most of this series, which is the same thing as the Pulse series. It's like a no-brainer for me almost. The V is the only thing that kind of tempts me, and then for Pat, I feel like the X is usually the way you would go.
Yeah.
He is going to put some time on this V as well, just because I think this is potentially a wide body that'll change his mind on wide body shape.
You just got tape up top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just did a
tape.
big here, so you guys can see that. I just did a big 8 to 9 inch strip of the 0.5 Pitball Effect tungsten right before I ran out of my tungsten on this bad boy, and that's all I felt it needed. Oh yeah, so cool thing about these edge guards, it's a two-piece edge guard. So it's black here, and then it's like all blue around, and it makes for this really cool kind of look, per se. And I know, guys, we'll have a little table here next time to put the paddles on and better show you guys them. But yeah, so I actually think that's really cool. Like this is the only two-piece edge guard that I know of in like newer paddles right now. Usually it's just one piece all around like that. And I do think there's some benefits and some cons from that I'll get into kind of more when we do the review. But yeah, so talk about, you've hit with the X a little
Yeah,
bit.
I mean, for starters, not that that's like what it's all about, but like I think a ton of points just for the look of this battle. Like Dawson was kind of touching on with the two-tone edge guard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really like the look. Like just right out of the box, like right out of the bag, super light, right? Like to me, initially, I felt like I'd swing and I'd hit the ball, and it just didn't feel like there was a lot coming off of it. Compared to like the Pulse. I felt like the Pulse for me had more pop coming off it. I think this has a little more 12 with that ball. But yeah, I mean, overall, so far I've liked everything that I've hit from Apes. And I think that this is another like winner for them. But outside of that, like I haven't hit a ton on it. So for me, I didn't notice outside of, like I said, this compared to the Pulse, I didn't notice too much of a difference. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying the V for sure.
Let me see that quick. So I got a question for you. What did you think in terms of power? Where do you think this sits? You've hit
Yeah.
you've hit the top of power,
Yeah.
which I would say is the Ripple right now.
Yeah.
And then you've hit kind of some all courts and some controls as well. Where do you think this lies?
Yeah, I mean, so if I'm saying like the Ripple's a 10, right?
Yeah.
Which is like you said, like the
Like
highest of the
a
high.
cannon,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
So-
I'd say like a 7.
So like probably top of all court.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
So
like
definitely enough, right?
Yeah,
It's not like I was hitting it and it wasn't, I was
I
lacking
actually-
power.
I kind of have this in the same spot. I would say with weight, this becomes a low tier paddle paddle. The
Yeah.
X specifically, just because of the shape. But the cool thing about this one, in my opinion, is that it's an elongated that you can like customize and tinker with. Really, I feel like all the other elongated paddles that I've used a lot of the time, they come in already heavy enough that it's like I can't really do a lot to
Yeah.
them. So I just put the generic, whatever 1 to 3 inches of tungsten or lead on the bottom throat and
Yeah,
call it
further
a
up.
day
Yeah.
because anything else in my swing weight
You're
is
like
gonna
doing
be
it
like
quick. Yeah.
I'm gonna be like super slowly and
Yeah.
the ball's just not gonna it's gonna go by me. So it's
Yeah.
and that's part of the reason why I gravitate more towards like the lighter paddles.
Yeah.
Going into these, I know you literally have only had our section on them. I had mine and one more. Here, give you that.
Yeah, and I think that's a good segue too, because I feel like with these, they're coming in super light, and I think the idea, and again, I'm not going to speak for the production team at 11Six24, but I think the idea is it's giving people the ability to customize those paddles, and I think it's a lot better to come in light and add than to have something that's coming in heavy, because at that point you can't take weight off, if it's coming in initially pretty heavy.
There you go. Yeah. So Vapor, Pegasus, Rachi X,
Yeah.
right here.
It's a new line.
New line. So the finalized, there's no gradient, as you can see. It's just the white edge guard, and then you got your writing on the side, just like before, and then you just have Alpha Pro Power right here. I know it looks a little zoomed out. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so you put time on iterations of this
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
So the Vapor is the one that Pat and I have hit the most of this bunch. I've played with prior Hirachi iterations, Pat has as well. And then Pegasus, I played with the Monarch iterations of these. This is my first Pegasus iteration just because I did not get the Power Pegasus originally. But I've played a friend's broken in one, and I'd say this plays like the broken in version of that one now. So I'd be really curious if this does have a break in.
Yeah.
Like what category it would enter per se in there. But I'll start here. So out of these, I'm gonna heavily lean Vapor in this kind of first impressions that Pat and I are about to do on these. But so with the Vapor, I would say that it is a low tier power paddle. And when I say low tier, I mean in terms of like firepower combining pop and power. I would say a high tier power paddle, something like a Ripple, is going to be really hard to control for most regular people unless
You
you're
can't full swing with it.
unless you're you've hit those enough to know that. Like, for these, I feel like I can take a full swing at the ball still. I can flick, I can do all that, and the ball's going where I want it to go. I actually personally prefer the alpha version of this more than the original. I know you were leaned the other way, at least with the Vapor originally, so we'll talk about that now. But I would just say, so I have the blacked out of this as well, which is like the pre-final production colorway, we'll call it. That's how 11Six24 used to do all their alphas, which is like the prototyping line. Now it's a main production line, for context there. But yeah, I mean, I think with these, the big thing is the shape is just such a winner.
Yeah.
That it's like it's really hard to go wrong with them.
Yep.
Like it's just such a complete paddle. You don't feel like you're losing reach as much as you do with a wide body or a standard shape.
Sure.
And you feel like you're getting the benefits of a wide body and standard shape in a hybrid paddle. And that's what the Vapor line has always been so appealing to me about is the shape first, And then also just the tech. I believe the fiberglass layer is on the bottom in these now, is one of the differences. It's 10 millimeter cells,
Yep.
which I did clean these since our last hit, but these grab some serious
Big
volumes.
time, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that I hit for 5 minutes. We dinked for 5 minutes, and we looked at the faces of them,
yeah,
and they were like completely white right there.
Yeah.
So they're really gritty in that regard. Definitely have a paddle racer if you don't, and you get these.
Yeah.
But these are coming out at the end of the month in July, I believe, between the 20th and the 25th. That window, I have to check again. There's a lot of paddles coming out in that window. And I will get that info for you guys at a later date here. But going further into the vapor, you haven't tried this. This is the new weight.
Yeah, no,
iteration
I haven't
we're gonna
hit
try.
any of them with weight.
Yeah. Well, no, the other one had weight. The all black one.
Yes, but I'm saying out of these.
No,
new
not
three,
these
out
two.
of these
So
new
we
three,
so we hit these all stock
right out of
earlier
the
this
bag,
week.
yeah,
Like the same day they came in. All I did was literally unwrap them.
Yep.
Like before I got on court. So we hit them like truly stock, and I think we both agreed they were light. Like they were big time light.
Yep.
Like probably the lightest swing weights I've hit stock out of a paddle in quite a long time. I thought all three felt great. I don't really think any of them were bad per se. You know, I think preference wise, the Vapor and the Hirachi are more my shapes.
Yep.
I think that the Pegasus is just, I kind of look at it like this, as you can see them just being such an identical shape.
Yeah.
Why
not?
bother? Like,
Why not?
what?
Just
I'd rather have the
extra
inch
reach.
like this than like that.
Yep.
You know, and I just think the Vapor is just such a complete shape that it's like I just leaned that way almost immediately. I did put a good amount of time on the Pegasus though, because
Yeah,
I
you were
wanted
hitting
to
some
make
good balls
sure.
with it too.
Like I did feel good with it. I don't feel like I could play with it. I just feel like if I'm playing like a full day of gender doubles and a full day of mixed doubles in a tournament scenario, why am I going to limit my reach? I'm going to be exhausted.
Yep.
Like, if anything, I would rather that 16.1 by the 7.9 face. So, but yeah, so the Vapor, I did a little bit of a different iteration that you're going to put some time on now as well. But the Hirachi, you put a little bit of time on that. I'm curious, what were your thoughts on that?
I mean, all positive. Again, like just when we hit it just straight stock, the biggest thing for me was just how light it was. So I'm curious at some point to try this with that weight on there. But yeah, very controllable. Definitely had enough power, enough pop. I felt like, drives, resets, drops, all that stuff. Like the ball was going where I wanted it to go. I didn't have any of that like launch effect on any of the drives. But and then, again, for me, I'm used to a more elongated shape. So, just picking this up and hitting with it right out of the box, like it felt fantastic. And like I've said before, I just think everything that they're doing over there at 11Six24 is fantastic. They're really innovating all the time, like that shape that you don't really see. I think you see some other companies kind of starting to try similar stuff. But I just think like for how much they are, for what they're capable of, I think it's like one of the best paddles out there. Obviously, everybody is gonna hit that Yola Perseus 4 is usually kind of the go-to. But if you're looking to change it up, and I know I saw even like you had posted something about how like pro players on the tour, there are other paddles out there that people are using.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is definitely one for people to look at. I know I've seen more and more of these on court as time goes. I definitely see more Vapors
right
out
here.
of all of them. But I have seen some people hitting the Hirachi. And yeah, I mean, I just think all positive. And again, I'm just kind of excited to see how they hit with some of that extra weight on there.
We're also kind of blessed in that we have a lot of 11Six24 people, representatives, all that in our area.
Yep.
So I feel like I knew about this shape and paddle probably 3 months before I even saw them on court. And then now I go to the courts and I see like a minimum of one Vapor if there's more than two courts of people playing. Kind of kind of like the amount of you'll see these days, just not as vast, I would say. But I think that's a credit to them in showing that they're competing
Yeah.
with a paddle that's from such a huge brand as a
Yeah.
smaller brand. One thing I will say about these, I do think this is a pretty big upgrade from the prior Power series. Like I do think if you liked that, you're gonna really like this. I think there's a lot of pros more than the cons per se. The only thing I will say is if you like a heavier sided stock paddle,
Yeah.
then go the original Pro series.
Yep.
Because like these are really light. Like you have to weight these pretty much. The only way I could see you playing these stock and like preferring to play it stock is maybe if you're someone that's had like some wrist injuries or just doesn't want any weight in the hand,
Yeah.
then these are great for you. If you're someone just who wants a regular pickleball paddle feeling, or you're a prior tennis player or something like that, you're going to need a little weight to achieve that feeling. And then the other thing too is they're super loud. Like they sound like you're hitting like a hollow cannon at times, even when you're dinking. But I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Like I kind of prefer the noise. Like
I'm used to it at this point now.
when we did the GX2s,
Yeah.
I found it super disorienting and not comfortable that I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like mishitting or something.
Exactly.
When I don't hear it.
The only one I could hear a little bit of those was the hyper, and so that was what made me like it the most of those three. But yeah, so I'd say that. And then look, David makes a lot of different paddles these days, so be on the lookout from them. This is what their
He's
second
always
release.
trying new stuff, dude.
This is their second release this year, so I wouldn't be shocked if they have, another release come, Q1, Q2 of the following year. But I will say this, these are good paddles.
Yeah.
I'm unsure on final price. It did go up a little. I think it's a little closer to 200, which I don't love that for them personally, but I'm curious what after discount code that looks like. Does it look like a 180? Does it look like a 190?
Yeah.
Because that's a different ballpark in my opinion compared to 200. And I know some of you are thinking, wow, it's only 10, 20 bucks. It adds up.
Yep.
Like if you're getting these paddles and you're getting them like, you know, the normal lifespan, I would say what of a paddle right now is 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So that's about 2 to 3 paddles in a year if you're an avid player. You multiply 200 by 3, it's $600 in paddles. That's a lot of money for paddles.
Yep.
Like I was about to say, I don't think I ever spent $600 in a year on tennis rackets alone. Maybe on strings I spent 3 to 400, but not on
Just straight
on
rackets.
paddles.
Yeah.
So I was about to say I usually use the same racket for about 3 to 5 years and then would upgrade.
Yeah.
And it was only if I really liked that same model or I went to a different model more than the need to upgrade
Yeah.
per se.
Yeah, it's not like it just died.
They don't die. Like they last.
Or
Like
something.
I don't play any tennis these days, but I'll still coach it every now and then in the summer. Kind of in like a combo gig that I'm in, on like a part-time side, and I still use the same rackets from college. Dude. Like I still have the same like 3 to 4 rackets from college that they work fine. I just restring them each summer. And I'm good for the summer. Like so yeah, so I think that plays effect, and that's a big thing for them too, is low prices.
The price point for sure.
Like they're
and the performance.
As well. Like I do think they're more of a performance brand now than the price point, but
Yep.
moving it on, I know you talked about these a while back, but we'll go into the Ripple just because you did put some time on this.
Yeah.
So we can go Ripple and then we'll go
Yeah, even just picking this up too, it feels so head heavy, and this doesn't even have any weight on it. Not that it's like crazy, but compared to all those other paddles.
Here, now pick this up.
Yeah, like compared to the Apes and,
to the Pegasus.
it's
like
it's pretty crazy. But again, I mean, it's like.
And this has a nice bar weight up there too, for context.
But it's always like, what are you gaining and what are you giving up? So you're obviously gaining insane power with this, but you're going to be giving up control. You're going to be giving up hand speed at the net and stuff like that. So you got to kind of figure out what's best for you. I've always said to people are always like, what paddle should I get? Get what works for you. There are so many paddles out there. There's so many different options, shapes, all these different things. So you got to figure out what works for you. But again, like what type of player are you and like what are you looking to gain from using this paddle? So if you're looking for this, you know, I would just tell everybody on the court, like, make sure you're wearing eye protection because I'm going to be launching balls at you and I might not be able to control where I'm placing them. But it's fun. I will say that I did have a lot of fun. This is the ripples. These were some of the first paddles that like I really tested with you. So it was an interesting switch because I've never been much of like a power paddle guy, and this is like the top tier of power paddle. So it was fun, but yeah, definitely there was an adjustment period for sure. But like similar to 11Six24 is like these are out there as well. I know a lot of people are hitting these. So I think like if you kind of take a look around next time you're at open play, whatever, I think you'll see, maybe one or two rhombuses out there. I think that it is a good paddle, but again, like if you're getting this, it is a power paddle. So you just need to understand like that's what you're getting, you know?
Yeah, I will say on that too as well with those is what's your goal in pickleball?
Yeah.
You know, if your goal, like if you're whatever, if you got a group, I had a group back in the day I used to play with every Saturday morning, probably 6 to 8 guys, sometimes 10. We'd go like 2.5 courts. And some days, like we would just bang the ball at each other
Yeah.
for 2 hours straight. Some days we would play like a combo of both. Some days we would go super soft game. Like if I'm looking to just have fun and bang balls,
Yeah.
something like a ripple's gonna make
Yep.
me have a ton of fun.
Yep.
If I'm looking to like go pro or get as close as I can to pro, you want a paddle that fits your game style, which I'll touch back to like earlier on in the year when I was playing with the Gen 2 as my primary paddle for a while, and that is what fit me more than banging balls with a top tier power paddle. And I think that that's a common misconception that still isn't really corrected per se because everyone just leans hardcore power now rather than leaning, maybe all court or even some cases control. I will say I do think on the pro side of things, the more power you can get, the better for the most part.
Yeah.
Just because they all have such good control in hands that like it's really not a downside.
Yeah.
Per se. Whereas there might be a downside if they're getting blown off the court. But there are pros that play control paddles and all court paddles. There's actually a lot of all court paddles, more so than control now. But I know a lot of people used to use Augie Go when he was with Vatic as an example, but there's other ones out there too. Like you can find them if you watch enough pro and see it. It's also with them, dude. It's a matter of what's paying them usually.
That's a good
If
point
we're
as
being
well.
honest,
Yeah, that's a
like,
good point.
and there's a lot of YOLA signed pros.
Yep.
You're gonna see a lot of YOLA. Again, if we follow the trend that tennis has followed for years, there was a while where Head had like the whole top 10 on the men's side, and that was like all you would see. Anytime you would go to a tennis club was either Head or Babolat. And then now it's starting to diversify a little again, because the sponsorships are like switching and stuff like that. But it's a similar scenario there, is the point I'm trying to make with that there. But yeah, we did a lot of paddle, so we'll move on off of paddles now. We will go beginner tip of the week. I think it's a good segment next. I did have one other thing we could touch on if we wanted to, and then some Q&A.
Okay.
So, do you want to start beginner, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I'll start. It took me a second. I was like, oh man, I didn't know we were doing this, so I should have known. But
Yeah,
some came to mind. No, we're good. Some came to mind. That way it's genuine too. So I'm not like this isn't scripted, obviously. Some came to mind. So I'm thinking, as far as kind of like mindset stuff goes, I feel like a couple times we've touched a little bit on, more like mindset stuff. I think just like approaching your rec or open play sessions with the mindset of trying to get better and not winning games, right? And I get it. Like it's fun to win. People like to win. I know when I've seen some people playing open play, they are very competitive. But just because you're playing against, my grandmother, let's say, and you're able to win the game 11-0 because you drive every single ball and she can't handle it, that doesn't mean you're getting better, right? Like you got to look at the level of play. And I know for here at least, sometimes that can be a big jump. You might have some people that are, you know, where they should be, some people aren't, some people are better, some people are worse. So just try to be mindful of like not forming bad habits is the way I usually tell people, because just because you can hit a shot and it works doesn't mean that that's going to work if you play against better people. So I know at least when I started playing, when I would go to open play or rec play, whatever, I would just say, I am just going to hit third shot drops today, or I'm just going to hit backhands, whatever it is. I was just trying to get better in one specific area instead of focusing on just winning the game. Right. And again, I think it does depend too on like Dawson was kind of saying with the paddles, like what is your goal in this sport? But I think for everybody, there's always a ton of room for improvement. So I think if we try to just shift the mindset a little bit and focus on getting better as opposed to winning, I think in the long run, you'll end up winning more, is the way I usually phrase it to people. So that's my long beginner tip.
Actually, that was great. I do think mindset is something that is important in sports in general. To touch on that, but I'm thinking for my beginner tip, just because I'm gonna go kind of simple here, is that I'm gonna go with this is a question I get a lot in paddles is what's the best shape? And it's a little bit of beginner, a little bit, I guess we'll call it a little bit intermediate too. I think the best shape is what fits your game best.
Yeah.
And if you haven't yet, try 3 different shapes. And I don't mean 3 different like elongated or hybrid shapes per se. Try one from each category. Try and if you can make it the same paddle or paddle tech per se, that's great. If not, just try and see the shape and feel the shape out more than the cores and all that, just because every core is different these days. But for example, with the 11Six24s we talked about, I gravitate a certain way that's going to be different from how Pat gravitates, or vice versa from how, I don't know, Joe Schmo gravitates. And so instead of like trying to chase what you think the best paddle is, try to chase what's the best shape and overall package for you. That's my beginner tip on that front. And then for Rift, real quick. So Vinny is in Malaysia right now for his trip. He's got his conference. He's running a tournament. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Affiliated with.
I don't know if he is in Malaysia. I don't. Okay. I think Malaysia is just the conference. I believe. I think tournament Japan and then tournament Vietnam. It was my understanding.
Okay.
But I've been trying to not like ask him like, hey, what's going on?
I know.
You know what I mean? Like so.
I feel like that's a trip that like I'm not on my phone during that trip. Yeah. I'm experiencing life during that trip. So I haven't really asked him a ton either. But yeah, so we're super excited for him that. Definitely looking forward to hearing those stories on the pod when he's back.
Yeah.
That'll probably be a whole podcast right there alone, if not like 1 or 2. But I did want to touch on that. So you might not see Vinny in here for 1 or 2 of these more. But yeah, I mean, at least for us, for what's coming up, we've got, look, the month of July right now, just as a paddle reviewer, as anyone in pickleball, is just an extremely busy month. Yeah. We got paddles galore coming up. We got a couple other things. We got some shoes. I got a pair of those Monces as well with that Amazon Prime Day code. I'm looking forward to testing those. I think we should do a ball day as well, where we just bring like 8 different balls and we go all test them.
Yeah.
We can go all test them. What is it on the Lifetime surface, and then maybe go outside one day and test.
I hit a Lifetime ball outside the other day, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, it's a different game.
Yeah, I was just like, "Wait," and then I was like, "Wait, oh, okay, that's why."
So, like example right there, like you're gonna get that feeling with certain balls.
Yeah.
And with certain paddles.
Yeah.
So there are certain paddles when it's 90+ degrees out, I love.
Yeah.
Like there are certain paddles when it's below 50, I love more so than 90 degrees. And they're not the same paddle.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't take that into account. But that there are some big differences in those areas that I think some people need to consider. So
it's the same thing with break-in.
Yeah.
Which is something I've talked about a bit. And if you know me, I'm not really the biggest break-in fan personally. I think it's personally, break-in to me is like something gets comfier and looser and a little softer.
Yeah.
Not really gets
The
like
opposite.
the opposite and gets like more performative per se.
I heard
So-
those get better, by the way, too, the 11Six.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Couple hours they get better. We'll
That's
see.
what I've heard as well, and I think that's what happened to my first vapor.
Yeah,
Because I hit this one and then I hit that one,
Yeah.
and I was like,
we even kind of did like a
Yeah.
sound test too.
I was like, dude, I prefer that one way
Yeah.
more. So, but if that's break-in, if that's the only break-in for those, I'm fine with that.
Yep.
Like that's not to the point that it's like illegal or anything bad.
Yeah. It was
It's
a hot
more,
day too when we were hitting with it too, so I
Yeah,
think
it
that
was
could have
so
been
hot. It's like 95.
We did like 2 drilling sessions in like a 2-day period, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, we went
Sunday
back
and
to
Monday?
back. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So we're committed to reviewing as many paddles as we can.
Yeah, I did a basement session too, which I have not done in a hot minute, of literally me with like the foam non-marking.
I was gonna say I have a couple if you want one too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at those.
Yeah.
I have I want to say it's Gamma, but it's this like yellow foam ball, and it's like the only thing I find works inside that won't I won't have like ball marks all over my like apartment wall.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like the basement wall, stuff like that. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're gonna be up to. That's at least, for sure. I'm trying to think. I have a mini trip this weekend, then I'm going to Canada in August for a week. Outside of that, I have no more trips, and quite frankly, I'm tripped out, so it's good. Like I am not a very big traveler.
With you there.
So this was a lot of traveling for me this summer. But I'm looking forward to just a regular routine, a consistent like 3 to 4 days of pickleball a week.
Yep.
So, but yeah, other than that, I think I'm good. If you have anything else you want to touch on.
No, I don't. I mean, like.
Oh, hey, flip weights.
Yes.
You just got time on flip weights.
Yes.
While we're here.
Yeah, I'll just show it quick. I won't kind of get into the whole thing.
Yeah,
But I did get the new I know that was kind of like
I loved it.
yeah, but so the new SLK Aero Power, I won't get into it fully, but I did kind of make the mistake of right away. I threw the flick weight on there, so I did never actually hit this stock.
Okay.
But yeah,
Which one is it again? Let me see.
This is the copper.
Oh yeah, it's the 6.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was checking the number. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the copper. I kind of prefer the copper over the tungsten. I'm noticing.
But just like great feel. I mean, I've already had a couple people be like, "Oh, hey, what is that too?" And from what everybody else has said, like they would lean more towards this than the slice cap, where you're, doing a lot more to the paddle. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's a great product, and I think it does a lot to improve the paddle. Like I said, unfortunately, I just put this on right away. So there's some other stuff that I'll kind of hit stock and then add it and see kind of how.
You have some 9s as well, right?
Yeah, I think so. They're in my other bag.
Yeah, you're gonna like
but I got a couple. So, but yeah, overall, I mean, not something I had ever done in the past, adding weight on, on or in the handle or whatever. So I know this is becoming more prevalent, and I think like Flick Weight's got it right as far as what they're doing with these. So, yeah, because I have it on. I think you have a copper one on the Invader.
On the Invader,
well.
I have a 9 on the
Yeah.
Invader like this because it's the only weight adjustment I do to the Invader. The only thing I don't like that it does to it is it makes like this little dead spot right here
Right there.
on the Invader, just because of the way it's
specifically.
shaped.
Yeah.
Which is a great shape.
Yeah.
But it's just that's how it does it for that. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna get more with the Invader soon too. So I hit a couple balls with it the other day, but I still.
There's not like, if you guys look at the handle, there's not really a lot you can do with a handle.
Yeah.
Per se, like you kind of just have what you're given, and then a little room to like high grip if there's a good taper, like there is on
Like
this.
that one, which is
This is a great taper right here.
Yeah.
And you see where my finger is, you could grip like to right there. So you got a good like extra 1.5 inches there at least. But so yeah, like the butt cap is probably the place for innovation, I would say here. I have tried putting lead strips like that. I don't like it. I just think it's not great. And I don't love the idea of removing an entire butt cap to put something on to find out it's too heavy or too light, and then doing that again and again and again. There's glue involved.
Yeah,
there.
once it's off,
like,
I mean, it's off.
Once it's off, it's off. Like at least with the flick weight, like I know it's not gonna fall off mid game.
Yeah.
I can just take the little, whatever hot water and a plier and take it off when I get home, pop a new one on if I didn't love it. There you go. Like it's super simple. And flip weight, like we've been testing now for at least I have now for a good month. And for me, the copper ones are the win. The tungsten, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like enough of a difference
Yeah.
to me. I do think it's great for stuff like the
So I think you had maybe
or
tungsten on the vapor.
The
I think.
vapor.
Did
I
you
think
have
the
it on?
vapor is a great paddle for the tungsten
Yeah.
because the vapor only needs that super small addition of weight
Yeah.
and it pops out the way the vapor butt cap is for all of these. This is like a sticker, at least on the older ones, and this just pops right out, and you just pop it right on there.
Yeah.
And it's honestly borderline not even much of a change at all to them,
Yeah.
but it's enough that yeah, it's a sticker.
Yeah.
On at least the older ones. I don't know about on the newer
Yeah, like I
ones.
said, I feel like they
Yeah.
are building these to be tampered with.
Yeah, to
not
be
not in a bad
customized.
way. Yeah, kind of
No.
customized. Yeah, for sure.
To be tinkered and customized.
Yeah, I think they know what players
Yeah.
want, what they're doing. So
At this point, if you've been in pickleball for a number of years, I feel like that's what you're doing to your paddles.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
not like I think it's very rare for people
Just
to
hitting
just
them
pull it
stock.
out of the box and hit
Yeah.
it stock, unless you're doing like what we're doing, where like you do that, then you build it up,
Yeah.
then you try and find out what setup you like, what you don't for each paddle.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. All right, man. This was a long one,
So
actually.
we got a Q&A?
Oh shoot, we did. We only had 2 questions.
Okay.
So one of ours was I'm gonna shout her out. I will not go anonymous this week. Sorry, but I'm shouting out Haley Pickleball. She gave me both of my Q&A questions for this week.
There you go. Thanks, Haley.
What is our favorite thing in pickleball, or thing about pickleball? What is our favorite thing about pickleball and why?
So it's a two-parter. That's
yeah. Well, the why is this two-parter.
Okay.
We got another one as well.
okay,
So
okay, okay.
the first part of that for me, I think my favorite part about pickleball is the people as well as the sport per se. But I'll say the people, and I feel like when people say this, they always say the community,
Yeah.
so opening and welcoming.
Yeah.
Yes, like you guys understand that. I don't need to rehash that. I think it's more just the individual people. Like example, 3 months ago, I didn't even know Pat.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I know him extremely well just through pickleball. And so it's like I think that's more of a people example right there to me than like an open play scenario.
Yeah.
And I do love those scenarios for new people and stuff like that as well. But I just think pickleball unites a lot of different and unique people per se that might not have otherwise crossed paths.
Yeah.
So at least that's for me. And then the why is I think it's good. I think it's something I've always like I'll put it like this. I've had days where I have sucked.
Yep.
Pickleball-wise. I've had days where I've been great. I've had days where I've sucked. And I might feel a little down about that. I usually feel more, if anything, that like at times, maybe I let the partner down, maybe I let whatever down. I'll feel that feeling more than like, wow, I don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone that's come to pickleball and like actually played in some games seriously and all that. Or even and then like this was boring, I'm done. They're always like, when can we do this again? Like, do you want to do this next week or this time? It's never like this was cool, I'll pass type of thing. I feel like it's very addictive in that regard, so in a good way. So I guess that's my thing. You want to go?
Yeah. So favorite thing about pickleball and why? I think kind of similar to what Dawson said, and this is just like for me personally. I think just I wouldn't say like the full extent, but just kind of the sense of purpose that this sport has given me. So like when I started playing, a long time ago, like I used to play basketball. I'm tall, but I'm not that tall. Like I was never going anywhere in basketball. I couldn't really run that much anymore. Like if I didn't find this sport, I think I would still be on the couch, 8, 9 years later playing video games. So this has just given me something to do. And in doing that, it has given me, friendships. It's helped just my physical health, my mental health. So I think like for all those reasons, that would be like the why as well for me. It's just how beneficial this sport can be for a multitude of reasons, right? It's like, and I'm not going to say like it's a way of life, but for me, this has been a big part of my life. And you know, it's not like I ever thought that it would take me anywhere necessarily, but even just to be able to do something like this, super cool. And again, not something I ever really imagined that I would be doing. So just to kind of go along with this sport as it continues to grow, and the fact that it is still growing, I think just like the possibilities are endless for this sport, and that's kind of how I feel about it. So
Ball is life. No,
yeah,
I'm kidding. That was really funny. No, I completely agree with you right there, dude.
yeah.
Like 100%. Like, I will say this, video games on the couch after a long day of pickleball.
I was playing
Doesn't sound
before I
like a.
came this morning, so that
Okay.
is still a part of my
All
life.
right,
But
all right. Hang on. What were you
yeah,
playing?
I'm mostly just FIFA these days. So
Oh,
the
okay.
pickleball game, not
Okay.
good.
Oh,
So
did you try it?
I had a friend that I was about to. I think he bought it like right when it came out
Okay.
too, because it's like way cheaper now. But I've not heard good things. I've not seen good
Okay.
things. So I guess I should say I haven't played it personally. But everything I heard, I mean, you don't hear people talking about it. So I think that should be a good indicator that it's probably not like
If there's
that good, but
anyone involved in the video game industry, create a good pickleball game.
yeah,
That's what we
that's
want
yeah.
for
I'd buy it for
2026.
sure. I'll buy it.
Oh, 100. I'll
Yeah.
run it on the pod right here.
Yeah.
100%.
We'll do it.
Well, yeah. So our second question was, oh, right, and this will tie into, we forgot to do main of the week, so I'll tie into that, is what's the current paddle we're using? So also by Haley Pickleball.
Thank you, Haley.
So, I've been tempered by these new 11Six24s, I'm not gonna lie, but I am still rocking
Yes.
the Harmony S.
Yeah.
I will say though, you know what made me almost want to go, and I don't have any form of contact with them right now, but made me want to go is your Selker was really tempting me. That
Yeah,
thing
where
is
is it?
awesome.
Yeah.
That thing is awesome.
Yeah, that was gonna be
The
my
new Selkers.
my
Yeah.
go-to for
Yeah. Well,
the main.
my main isn't that interesting because it's a repeat main, but I swear by this thing.
But that shows how good it is. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If it's
It's a repeat, but
with the amount of
yeah.
battles we're hitting with too.
I was about to say, I think we are gonna average probably over 20 paddles this month.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
all right, what do you got for a main of the week?
Yeah, this would be it right here.
Yeah.
The SLK Air Power.
I think
16 millimeter.
I'm buying one of those at some point, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a great battle.
I think 100% just because I don't have a Selker code right now, but I loved it in the probably 15 minutes I hit with it, maybe less.
Yeah.
Like,
And a lot of people do. I mean, they're out there. A lot of people on tour are hitting this.
I feel like every Selker pro has it now.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one that's choosing to play with any of the other
Yeah, I'm trying to
generations.
think. Yeah.
I know Ignatowicz switched to the wide body, something like that,
Yeah.
which I thought was pretty crazy because he's like always been elongated.
Yeah, and he's a tennis guy, right?
He's a
Yeah.
big time tennis guy.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty crazy. I think Catherine has the wide body. I think Rachel has the elongated.
Jack's probably gone elongated, right?
I think Jack has the elongated.
Yeah.
That makes sense for
Tennis guy.
tennis.
Yeah.
Do they still have the Kawamotos? Did they have them at one point?
I don't think so, but
I don't think they have a brand right now.
Yeah.
But I think the Kawamotos at one point played these two. And then most Selkirk pros, if you ask them what they're hitting right now, it's these SLKs. And they're pretty legit and they're in a good price point too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I think they're around that 200 bubble before the discount. And
Yep.
then after it, I think they're in that like 180, 190 range.
Yep.
So that's like a good place to be is a good pallet.
Yeah, for
I'd say
sure.
right now.
For me, at least, when I used to look, I like for me, like 200 was like a no-no. Like I was like, I'm not going above 200. So I know obviously things have changed a lot over the years, but to still get something that performs this well under 200, I think you're getting a good.
I was about to say, as long as you're under 200, I think you're in a decent spot.
Yeah.
I think going above it, you better have like, it's almost more than a paddle at that point.
Yep.
It's
It's
a
a car
paddle.
payment.
It's
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
It's a car payment at
Yeah.
that point. So it's whatever. It's a brand new, whatever, this or that, But all right, I think that's all we got for now. Sorry guys, I know we were a little out of, jumble today per se, but that's just because we got a new room, all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
we're still figuring some
We're
stuff
figuring
out.
some
The
stuff
back
out.
end here, so
We'll keep it honest there, but give us another whatever pod or two and we'll have it down. So
yeah, just check out the Instagrams. You know what I mean?
yes. Oh yes. Pat is running the Instagram as well. It's not me running it. I had someone ask me that the other day. So
Oh,
that is
shit.
all
That's
Pat.
not
No, no, it's okay.
The way
Okay.
you said that was like they had a problem.
No, they didn't have a problem. They just wanted to know, like, was I running it? And I said no.
Yeah, I gotta step
It's
it
all
up.
Pat.
I gotta step it up.
Pat's doing a wonderful. Listen, hey, Pat is doing a wonderful job. That I am extremely thankful for Pat. I could not do the Instagram on top of everything I'm doing right now. So
Yeah, I'll
I really
try to be
appreciate
more
it.
proactive with the Q&A as well. So I know sometimes we're trying to figure out maybe a set day to do this. So I gotta figure out at least just getting it out early. So
Yeah,
so
I'm
you guys can
thinking.
put some stuff
I'm
on
thinking
there.
that's the route we're gonna go.
Yeah.
We'll go a set day, and then we'll try to release same day, if not the following day.
Yep.
So
Yeah, but I'll throw some stuff in the bio and stuff on there. So check us out if you don't follow us. On another pickleball podcast, Instagram. So
yeah, love it. All right, that's the sign off right there. Peace.
thank